welcome to the 2Kalee Chics podcast, introducing the 2Kalee sisters,
Debo
and Diana. Asai Tete.
Say Diana, say Tete.
So Debo, here we are. This is our first.
I know, right?
This is our first podcast. How long have we been planning this thing?
I want to say officially, maybe at the beginning of 2021. But
Yeah.
this has been.
But we have been
on our
talking all our
minds
lives.
Yes.
We have been talking all our lives. A bunch of people we know have been telling us we need to get on here, and I don't know what we should talk about, but we will find something to talk about.
Yeah, we're just gonna talk about life. We're gonna talk about everything. Anything,
Motherhood.
really. Yes.
Career,
Health, self-care.
yeah, how we met,
Mm-hmm.
when we first came here.
Mm-hmm.
You're gonna teach me some Kalee words.
I'm more than happy to do that.
That's your area, right?
Yeah,
All right,
my
let's start
area.
off. What is Asai Tete?
Asai Tete. So Asai is, hugging, greeting
Like
warmly.
a greeting, a warm greeting.
A warm greeting.
Yeah,
And Tete means dear one.
dear one. Okay, so it doesn't necessarily mean sister.
No.
Me, I thought it meant sister.
Yeah.
But you can't use it for men.
No.
Mostly women.
Mostly women.
Mostly women. So Kalees are not known for hugging. So I guess when you say Asai Tete, that's the emotion and that's the
Yes. That's like, oh, I'm so excited.
Yeah,
to see
that's the
you.
excitement.
Yes.
Anything other than if you're expecting a hug, too bad for you, right?
Yes.
So for just a basic introduction for those people who may be listening and may not know, we both come from Kenya, which is a country in East Africa, which is in Africa. But
Better be in Africa.
we better be in Africa, right? But out of that, also in Kenya, we come. How many tribes are in Kenya?
I think they're 52.
52,
officially.
right.
Yes.
Maybe they've increased since we were last. We were both last there. But okay, out of the 52, there is a tribe known as the Kalenjin.
Yeah.
And out of the Kalenjin, there is how many sub-tribes?
I think they're about 7. We
Seven,
can kind
not
of try.
9?
Or maybe. Okay, so there's Kipsigis,
Kipsigis,
Nandi,
Nandi,
Keyo,
Keyo,
Tugen,
Tugen,
Marakwet,
Sabaot,
Sabaot,
Pokot,
Pokot,
okay.
Okiek, and
Oh,
Kogomek.
so it's 9.
Please forgive me if I've made it up.
No, I think the fact that you got, what do you say, okay?
Oh, there's also Terik,
I-
which is I have relatives who are from the Terik.
Terik. What part of
It's
Kenya
almost
is that?
like they have an influence. They are from a place called Kapsengere,
Ah.
and that is
Tebra.
close to Lake Victoria. So even when they speak, they have some Luo words.
In it.
They have Luo influence.
Yeah.
So they are from an area. It's, I think, Serem, which is
Your kind of like your name.
kind of like my name, and that area in Nyanza province.
So, for those who know a little bit about African history, usually, especially what we learned out of geography in Kenya, and correct me if I'm wrong, we'll be correcting a lot of each other here.
Yes.
The different tribes come from different subsets of African origins, I guess. There's the Nilotes, there's the Kushites,
The Bantu,
there's the Bantu.
and then there's
Those are the major
those
three.
are the main.
Those are major 3. So if you belong to one of those, it depends. Like people from Central Africa are the Bantus. Us, Kalenjins, Luyas, Luos.
No, Luyas are Bantu.
They're
Yes. Luyas are Bantu.
No.
Murembe, Muhana.
I missed that class. And it's been a long time, so I will not even...
Luyas are Bantu, but they are where they come from. They're surrounded by the Nandi. They're surrounded by the Luo, the Teso. So they're kind of surrounded by Nilotes.
But they're Bantus.
They're Bantus, yes.
Okay, I guess I wasn't paying attention in class then as to what the different... I think it's by geographical location. Anyway, we are Nilotic.
Yes.
And Nilotic is part of the Luos that we belong to. We are all kind of in the same origin of area. But I'm glad you know the 9 of the Kalees, because me, I just know Kipsigis, and me, I'm Kipsigis, and you are
I'm Nandi.
Nandi. So we understand each other and what we are saying when we do speak, or rather when she speaks, I can hear what she says. But accents might be a little different and some wording may be different, but we
Yes.
pretty much just understand each other.
Yes.
So I'm here to learn from Deborah all the Kalee words I can get. At least I know Asai Tete, so you know.
And
Clap
I'm
for me.
glad to teach you that.
You're glad to teach me. Okay, here, applause for you. Yeah. Okay, so that's just a basic introduction for why we call ourselves the 2Kalee Chics, because that's where we hail from, and it's a common thread between us. But apart from that, we are both yellow personalities.
Mm-hmm. And yellow means that we just go with the flow, okay?
Don't
ask me what I'm doing next
week.
Next month. If you ask me what I'm doing next month, I'll probably just kind of you're stressing me out.
Right? We live in the moment. We just go with whatever comes. We are bubbly, happy, energetic people. You ask us where we get our energy from, we have no idea, right? But we are mothers, we are career women, we have been students, we are, what else can we describe? We go to church together.
Yes, we sing.
We sing together. We laugh a lot together, which is important in life if you're not laughing.
Yes.
But that is what is known as the 2Kalee Chics. And
we learn a lot from each other too.
We really do.
Yes.
We really do.
Yes.
For example, early this year, we took a class, a life coaching class by Coach Jean Adero. And it's basically finding your purpose, finding out what legacy you want to leave, basically. And we've learned a lot from that class. And every other day, we are always talking about this or that or something that we've learned. What have you learned as a result of that?
So myself.
And let me say the disclaimer first is you pulled me into this, so you go first.
Okay, I'll go first. So, first of all, the name of the class is Design Your Life. And in as much as Diana says that I pulled her into the class, I was also pulled into the class by my sister Eva Wagura.
Yeah, applause for you, Eva. Yes, applause.
Yes. So we read the book Think and Grow Rich.
Yes.
By Napoleon Hill. And so basically, the book has a wealth of information. But what I took from the class is I can be anything I want to be.
Yes.
And there is power in how I think and what I affirm to myself. So basically, I'm learning how to get rid of negative thoughts and just focus on the positive, because our thoughts have energy.
Yeah.
And so, and then it has the power to manifest into the physical.
Right.
So I'm all about positivity. Back to you, sister.
Back to me. So I mean, we try to live this out on a daily basis. We'll talk to each other a couple of times a day, and it's not just empty talk. It is about things that we have gone through in life and how we can approach them differently than when we used to be younger and would just be impulsive and jump at everything that comes your way without thinking. To kind of breathe in, take time, think, just sit in those feelings, right?
Yes.
I learned the other day that a feeling lasts for 90 seconds. A feeling lasts for 90 seconds. So if you're mad, deal with it, sit with it in that 90 seconds and then move on.
Yeah.
That's how long a feeling lasts.
Not like the way we used to do it.
Not like how
months.
You gotta talk to somebody you're living with because they did A, B, C, D, E, F, G, right? And so we try to live out that in our daily lives, to practice what we have learned, and also to change things for the next generation.
Amen to that.
Because where we came from and where we are right now and where our kids are taking us are totally different.
Yes.
Totally different places. And our where we have grown up from and what we have learned is very different from who we are right now. We would never imagine this would be us. But we try to at least change our reactions to things so that you make sure that your reaction to daily life struggles, not that saying that struggles will not be there, are positive or held in a manner where they don't sit with you and dwell in you and just becomes a part of your life.
And actually, I like what you said. And also I want to add that I'm learning how to respond and not necessarily react.
React.
Because reacting is usually like, ooh, you're on the defensive, but when you respond, you're actually taking time to think, to acknowledge what you're feeling, and then come up with, what you're gonna say.
Yeah.
We are not just, even though we are yellow, or even though I'm yellow, I'm trying very much to think before I speak.
That takes wisdom and maturity, because sometimes we are ready to pop off.
Yes.
Like, let me just say what I want to say.
Yes.
But it helps a lot, especially in marriage, in parenthood, in your places of work, right? You have to get to a point in life where you can't say you're 30, you're 40, you're 50, and you're still acting the way you acted when you are 20. Like, people are going to be, and we meet some of those people, so we can't say that it still doesn't happen. We have some 40s and 50-year-olds out here acting like they're still in their 20s. Yeah. But we have to make sure that, but you know what? We were discussing this with you the other day. It's a struggle because sometimes, for example, you get to work and you're dealing with somebody who is older than you, right? Somebody who is older than you. So you're trying to be this new age, person and mom, but then your culture is still holding you back, the way you were raised, the respect you were raised in.
Yes.
Like, you can't escape from it. Sometimes,
I know Jean won't want me to say this,
but
the struggle is real.
I know there's no struggle, right? Yeah. No, but the struggle is real, right?
Yeah, sometimes the struggle is real. Like, you just want to say, okay, you move out of my space. But then, first of all, the Christian in you is taught to be loving and be patient. And at times it's so hard.
Yeah.
But,
But let me ask you, do you ever feel this way? And I like to say this, and I don't know if it's something I should keep saying, but I say this because for me it's true. Because both of us came here, went to the States when we were how old were you?
I was 19.
That's about how old I was too when I came. And even this many years later, I still feel like you don't necessarily belong. In the sense that when you go home to Kenya, you're still a fish out of water. Yes. When you come here, you're still a fish out of water. If we have created this place where we have a community and we hang out with a community and we're trying to branch out, but the thought was when you come to America, you'll go there, you'll meet Americans and be with all these people. But then we have come and we have hang around all our...
Yes. We are basically kind of in a small Kenya, little Kenya.
Pretty much. And so you don't belong there, and do you ever have that feeling? Because me, I have that all the time. I go home, people have moved on, they're doing all these things. I don't speak Ikale. When I go, I understand it, but I don't speak it fluently. When I go back home, I'm floating. You'll just go in and switch in there. But still, there's that
sense of
you're an American.
For me, I want to say my experience has been just a little bit different. Just because I've kept up with my primary school group, I've kept up with my high school group. They are actually trying to do some investment project, and also, like my cousins, we keep in touch. But there's this sense of, when you're in the diaspora for so long, I feel like I'm behind. I feel like, okay, in as much as I have so much experience in the workplace, I'm well spoken, but I feel like if we were to do a direct comparison, most of my age mates, they have a lot of properties, they have all these business things they're doing. But I feel like if I was to transplant right now and go home,
you'd be fish out of water.
Yes. So,
but then this is why we're in these classes, so that we know you're not running anyone's race. Who are you?
Thank you. That's why I need you.
We're not running anyone's race. I mean, this is how we learn how to cope.
Yes.
We're not saying that we're living these fake lives where everything is perfect, everyone is running, whatever. Sometimes those things come up, but it is more about reminding yourself. And we had to go and get these tools because this country ain't just gonna give you things to know what's going. You have to sit there and tell yourself. But I get what you mean. And I remember having this conversation with somebody, and not somebody, a couple of people, and it blew out. It was like, what do you mean? You've moved on. You're doing this, you're doing that. But I'm saying it's still a thing.
Yes,
it's still a thing.
It is a thing.
It's still a thing. And then you come here and you're still trying to keep up with the, with the going-ons of being in a 24/7 world that you're always running.
And most people in where we are, they are really, especially for women.
Yeah.
You're the mom, you're the housekeeper, you're the
driver,
you're the driver,
you're the doctor, you're the
yes.
so
everything. It's like, so we had, in fact, what I came up with in the class also was you just have to remain centered and
find that balance.
Even meditation. Thank you, Diana. You shared an app with me there last week, the I Am app. And
I love that. Oh my gosh. It sent me one today. I just had to sit and pause and be like, I think it told me something like you're good enough for something. You don't remember those kind of things.
Yes. So, every hour it comes up with a message, a message. That kind of helps even, when you're just struggling through the, when you're having difficulty.
Now, I know I'm going to take you back. I am in the digital marketing space, social media type of space. You are in the
I'm in the healthcare.
Yes,
and I'm a nurse.
Right
now I'm working as a radiation oncology nurse, so I'm dealing with a lot of patients who are dealing with different kinds of cancer.
Now I bring that up because I know you've told me, but I'd like you to say, how did you end up in this field? Because this is a core part of this 2Kalee Chics, right? It's a core part of how this came across, because our stories and our backgrounds are really fascinating to who we are and where we're going to as adults.
So, my mother's mother, so my maternal grandmother, her name was Zipporah.
Let's give an applause there for her. Yes.
So Zipporah, my grandma, Gogo Zipporah.
I like calling it. Okay, so for those who don't know, we call it Zipporah, but it's Gogo Zipporah. That's the Kalenjin way of saying it.
The title comes first. So
yes.
Gogo Zipporah was the village midwife, medicine woman. Not medicine woman like Abaribara Chingororo, no.
What is that you just
I'll say she's not a witch doctor.
Oh, okay.
I'll say she treated different ailments
with natural herbs.
And so, I would go visit and I would see how
old were you?
I want to say I was, maybe 6, 7, 8. I would watch. I would be fascinated because all these expectant women would come and she would let them lay down on the bed and she would massage with just soap and water just to feel for positioning of the baby. And I mean, she did all these things with whatever tools she had.
This was before ultrasound, right?
Well,
the kind of stuff
this is now in the village. Yes,
in the village.
Yes.
Before you had seen any of this stuff or knew any of that existed, right?
So I was just like so fascinated, and people came from far and wide for different dawas or different medicines.
So wait, so she would just use soap and water, and she'd be able to feel where and how the baby is.
Yes, and she could even turn the baby if it was a breech. She would be able to turn
just with the soap and water.
Yeah, just massaging and kind of helping, nudging. And I thought that was very fascinating. And just to say, my grandma actually helped my mom deliver my brother. It was a very, very difficult.
Really?
Difficult. What do you call it?
Birth.
Yes. Very difficult. So anyway, and to give you a little bit more of a background with her, she never really went to school.
Okay.
She
went to the school of life.
Yeah, she went to this. I think when the British were there, I think my grandma was born in the teens. She was born in the teens.
The last, the kids would say that we were in the last century.
Yes, and so she just had very basic education. She could read. She was a very brilliant woman. And so around maybe the 50s, 60s, she went to Kapsabet to do like just general education for healthcare, just wash your hands, just hygiene. But for the most part, everything she was self-taught.
And she'd heal people. People would come to her, and so there would be a constant stream of people coming over.
And they didn't pay in cash. They would bring sugar.
Barter trade.
It was barter trade. And of course, the ones who could not afford anything, just.
So you are a celeb before you are even a celeb. Look at the line.
Don't be my grandma.
Look at the line. If that many people came to your house, if that many people came to your house when you're 6 or 7, seeking out because if you are not that good, people would not come to you.
She was good. She died in 2012.
2012. How old was she?
It was 2012 from 19. Why are you giving me math in this life?
Okay, what year was she born?
Let's just say 1950.
That's about. Okay, if it was 1912, that would be 100 years.
No, I don't think she was married. I think she was
in her 90s.
Yeah.
Okay. Let's go with that because this is not a math.
She must have been in her 90s. Why I'm saying that is because she has children who were born in the 30s.
Oh, okay. Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah.
So did she treat people all the way to the very end? As far as
she would wake up. Let me just give you an idea. So with these herbs, she would have to wake up early and go like up the mountain
to go forage for the herbs.
Go forage for the herbs. So towards the end, she couldn't do it. She couldn't do it. But her mind was sharp.
It was very sharp. I think our grandparents, especially even my grandpa, he lived to be very sharp. Like he would remember things. And not short and long-term memory separately, like together, like the memory was intact. Like they were really, good at what they knew and they could tell you stories for generations. Unfortunately, where we grew up in Africa, we don't record things. So unless it's passed down by word of mouth for somebody else, it's never written anywhere. You won't find a book about Gogo Zipporah.
Yeah.
Right? Unless you write the book.
Giving a challenge to my cousin Karen, who I'm sure will listen to this.
Karen will thank you on the
Karen,
podcast.
Can you write a story about our grandma?
Gogo Zipporah, you want to hear about this brilliant woman.
Yes.
Brilliant woman, because not enough stories are being told about women and the things they have conquered. And it's very hard to find. Not that they're not there, it's not recorded, so it's very hard to find them.
Yes, and in fact, Gogo is. This is gonna probably be a long story, but she had her first 4 children. Then during her 5th pregnancy, the neighbor, there had been a murder in the neighborhood, and so this neighbor was having a domestic issue with the wife, and he ended up murdering his wife and removing the baby from the
womb,
and placing it on top of the body. Now, my great grandmother.
Now your grandmother's mother.
My grandmother's mother happened to be visiting and actually told my grandma to not go over there. And so Granny. She was such a curious person, and she was pregnant. I think she was like maybe.
By the way, let's just take a pause and say you're like that.
Oh,
you're very curious. When people are running away from danger, you're like, what's happening over there? Let me go see.
Yes, so she did not listen. She went to see what had happened in the neighborhood, and so what happened is it was very
gruesome.
Gory. It was gruesome. And when she came home, unfortunately she lost the baby. She had a miscarriage.
Oh, your grandma had a miscarriage.
My grandma had a miscarriage, and unfortunately, she lost several other babies. Like she would get pregnant, lose the baby, get pregnant, lose the baby, and then back in the day, they would say, "Oh, there's a medicine woman," and blah blah blah.
Yeah.
So someone told her about the medicine woman, and she went over there too. And she was given some herbs. She took these herbs, and she was able to deliver. My auntie.
So she stopped having miscarriages.
She stopped having miscarriages, and was actually able to have 3 or 4 more children. Now this sparked an interest
In
her.
who?
In my grandma.
In your grandma.
And she was like, if this helped me, maybe I can do it. So she said, back in the day, if you wanted, like, how we patent things now in this century?
It's my idea.
Yeah. So my grandfather said, since you really like these things, like, why don't you buy the knowledge from that lady?
The lady who
helped her. So they gave her a heifer. And my grandma bought the knowledge for the herbs, and then along the years she was able to collect more.
So when you say about the knowledge, you go over there, they teach you.
Yeah, they show you where the tree or the root, where it comes from and what it does, and So so that's how she ended up.
This story is so fascinating because they have so many angles to it. Not only about the path you have chosen in life to follow in your career right now, but also I'm reminded just the last year of the year 2020 when we went through Corona. Guess what? All of us were drinking when we were at home. We were following the traditional methods of
back to the basics.
Yes, how our grandparents used to, live. There was no kofta, there was no Tylenol, there was no, I don't know what other medicines people use out there when you get a cold. So you go back to the ginger, the honey, the lemon, the what? Turmeric. I thought you were gonna say it in 2Kalee. Okay, this is a good point for you to teach me. We're gonna learn some Kalee words as we talk. I know honey in Kalee is kumya. Because my grandpa used to harvest honey. Oh, I miss it. Harvest honey. But okay, so that's, do you know what ginger is in 2Kalee? Or what is honey, ginger, lemon, and turmeric? So which one of those ones?
I know none
of those. So we have a line. We know kumya.
I need to go find out.
Right. Okay. So the Kalee word of the day is kumya.
So honey. Diana is as they say, Gumiat. I'm like, I don't know what she's talking about. Well, I know what she's talking about, but I'm like,
I apologize to my fellow Kipsigis. I have inflated my voice. But it is true. Kipsigis have a higher intonation. Nandis have a lower intonation when you talk. So yours is Gumiat.
Yeah, you're like,
Okay, let's go back. So, honey in English, asali in Swahili, and then in Kalenjin, either kumyat or
Gumiat.
Okay. choose what name you're gonna call your baby, your sweetie, your significant other when you go home. Choose one of those. If they don't know, tell them to listen to the podcast.
I know. And then Kalee is so interesting because you can have a word that if you say it many different ways, it means different things.
Right.
Like, for example, moi is a stomach.
Okay, wait. Is what, stomach?
Yes.
Okay, moi.
And then moe, which is a wound.
A wound, like you got hurt and you hurt yourself.
And then you have moi, like you did not grow, stunted growth. And then I mean, those are the main ones. You could say my, which is did not arrive.
Okay. So can you say all of those together?
So moi, stomach.
No. Okay. Don't translate. Just say it and then leave the translation.
Okay. Moi.
And those big stomach, wound, stunted growth, and did not arrive.
MIA.
Listen, we have the students here. You're going to be teaching me this, and you're going to be coming up with a couple words here and there for you to learn something about our culture, where we are from. I came into this country not knowing any of it. My husband and his friend taught me, and then Deborah forced me to learn because she'd say things around me that I didn't know. So I was forced to learn here and there. So I'm picking up as we go along. But I say this to say, celebrate where you're from.
Amen to
Don't
that.
lose where you're from just because you're in a new place and you want to fit in and there's something unique about what you have and what your journey has been and what it has brought you to. It may not look like that. Your children may not want to adopt it, but you yourself should live it out to the fullest. Who would know? Deborah would bring us one day the story of her grandma Gogo Zipporah. I feel like I should know her by now. And what she has done explains a lot why Deborah acts the way she's always in the action. What's going on there? What's going on there?
Are you calling me nosy?
No, I call you our city MCA. Those who don't know, what does MCA stand for? I don't know what MCA stands for. Something. It's a representative of the town. If she runs for mayor today, we'll all vote for her in. But other than that,
I think I'm saying that I'm also gonna say the same thing about Diana.
I ran away from trouble. I'm afraid of things.
I'm saying the same about Diana.
Well, that's our yellow personality. But we are going to go on a journey of discovering our roots and finding out where we're from. Sometimes why do we act the way we act? Maybe I had a comedic ancestors. People who knew me in my primary would not believe it's me talking today. I was the shyest girl. In the first year of high school, I got a prize for most humble girl. If they could see the shock on your face.
Who did you bribe? Did you bribe somebody? Humble.
I wish I could bring it. I was most humble girl. My family laugh at me, but I know what I got.
Wow.
And I have proof.
Wow.
So I was humble until the butterfly.
You discovered your voice.
Until I ballooned out of my cocoon and came to be where we are now. You can't stop us from talking. It was years of keeping it
But
in.
you know, even myself, I was a shy kid.
In what place?
I was a shy kid until standard 5.
Let's save the story. The next one we shall talk about you going to music festivals.
Oh my.
Because that one has nothing to do with the shyness you're talking about. We shall talk about that one because it, apart from just being who we are creative in our own ways, and we'll also talk about all the things we want to do in life in terms of our dreams. Like what if we could dream, what would we want to be? Some of them are outrageous. But
are you calling my dream outrageous?
I'm calling mine. I don't know about yours. You're going to reveal what you want to
and
say.
we are going to talk about the things we see every day, like in traffic.
like the old man we saw today. We are learning to be better people. But there was this old man, and I was calling to tell you, apparently on the same road with me, but the old man who is literally taking his time to exercise at 5 p.m. on a busy street. Like, seriously. Can we exercise between 9 and 4?
I know. When there's no traffic, when people are not trying to come back.
It was so crazy. But we say this because you call me every time about something happening on the road. And I'll be like, Deborah, focus on your car. Don't look at the person in the next car why they're not wearing they have removed their mask from work. But we live very interesting lives, and we see a lot, and we try to laugh through the seasons in life that we go through, which is what our message is. Just be happy. Find something to be grateful for on a daily basis.
And don't sweat the small stuff.
Don't sweat the small stuff. And affirm yourself. You are good. You are enough. You are loved. Affirm yourself every day. And we'll also be teaching you some Kalee words as we go along. But other than that, we will sign off with our signature. Asai Tete.
And because it's bye, we're going to say Sai Sere.
Sai Sere. Sai Sere is
Bye-bye.
bye-bye till next time.